Act 1. The Morning Platform. Marcus Chen had taken the 742 from Oakwood Station for 6 years. He knew which carriage stopped closest to the exit at his destination. He knew the exact spot on the platform where the doors would open. He knew the conductor's face, though they'd never spoken. Monday morning, November the 17th. The platform was crowded with the usual commuters. Marcus stood in his usual spot, messenger bag over his shoulder, reusable coffee cup in hand. The air smelled like rain and diesel and someone's too sweet perfume. The train pulled in on time. Marcus stepped forward as the doors opened. A woman with headphones moved her bag from the seat before he could ask. Not unusual. People did that sometimes, sensing someone approaching. But she'd moved it before he'd even made eye contact, before he'd shifted his weight toward the seat. He sat down, dismissing it. Monday morning. Everyone was on autopilot. The train lurched into motion. Marcus pulled out his phone, scrolling through work emails. A project deadline had moved up. He'd need to stay late tonight, probably. He made a mental note to text his girlfriend, Emma. The man standing near him stumbled as the train rounded a curve. Marcus was about to reach out to steady him when the man said, "Thanks, I'm all right." Marcus's hand was still at his side. He hadn't moved yet. "No problem," Marcus said automatically, though his hand never left his lap. The man smiled and turned back to his book. Marcus stared at his phone screen without seeing it. That was strange. The man had thanked him before he'd done anything, before he'd even started to move. Just a misunderstanding. The man thought someone else had reached out. Easy to get confused in a crowded train. At the next stop, a teenage girl got on, struggling with an enormous backpack. Marcus watched her navigate the aisle. She was going to bump into him. He could see the trajectory. Her backpack was going to catch his shoulder in about 3 seconds. "Sorry," she said, meeting his eyes. Her backpack hadn't touched him yet. It was still 2 feet away. Then it hit his shoulder, exactly as he'd anticipated. "It's okay," Marcus said, but his voice felt distant in his own ears. The girl moved past him. Marcus looked down at his coffee cup. His hand was steady, but something in his chest wasn't. A flutter of unease, like a skipped heartbeat. He was imagining things. People apologized preemptively all the time. Social niceties. Anticipating awkwardness before it happened. But the timing was wrong. Just slightly wrong. Marcus checked his watch. 7:56 a.m. 14 minutes into his commute. He had 31 minutes until he reached Central Station. Then a 7-minute walk to his office at Vertex Analytics. He'd arrive by 8:38, same as always. He'd grab a breakfast sandwich from the cart outside the building. He'd be at his desk by 8:45. Routine was reliable. Routine made sense. The train slowed, approaching Riverside Station. Marcus stayed seated. His stop was still 20 minutes away. Through the window, he watched the platform slide into view. A man in a grey suit stood near a support column, checking his phone. The doors opened. A few passengers got off. The man in the grey suit stepped aboard and looked directly at Marcus. Not a casual glance, a long, searching look, like he was trying to place him. Marcus didn't recognize him. The man moved down the aisle, still glancing back. His expression was puzzled, concerned almost. Marcus looked away, back at his phone. His unread emails blurred together. He couldn't focus on the words. The flutter in his chest was getting worse. At Millbrook Station, an elderly woman got on and moved toward the empty seat across from Marcus. He started to stand, ready to offer his seat instead, so she wouldn't have to navigate as far. "That's very kind of you," she said warmly, "but this seat is just fine." Marcus was still sitting down. He hadn't stood yet, hadn't even tensed his legs to rise. He stood anyway, because what else could he do? She'd already thanked him. "Of course," he said. His voice sounded normal. His voice sounded like it was coming from underwater. The woman settled into her seat with a grateful sigh. Marcus moved to stand near the doors, gripping the pole. His palm was sweating. This wasn't his imagination. Something was wrong with the timing. People were reacting to him before he acted. Not by much, just seconds, but consistently now. Every interaction was slightly offbeat, like a video with desynchronized audio. Marcus pulled out his phone and typed a message to Emma. "Weird morning. Call you at lunch." He watched the screen. The message showed as delivered. Then, a moment later, 3 dots appeared. Emma was typing. Her response came through. "Of course. Hope your morning gets better." His message had been vague. He'd said it was weird, but not bad. How had she known to hope it would get better? The train announced his stop. Central Station, next stop. Marcus grabbed his bag, moved toward the doors. Other passengers shifted aside before he reached them, making space before he asked for it, moving before he got close enough to need them to move. The doors opened onto the platform at Central Station. Marcus stepped off the train and into the morning crowd, and everyone around him seemed to know exactly where he was going to step next. Act 2. Desynchronized. The walk from Central Station to Vertex Analytics took 7 minutes. Marcus had timed it hundreds of times. This morning, it felt like walking through a dream where everyone else knew the script except him. A businessman sidestepped left before Marcus moved right. A jogger said, "Excuse me," before Marcus was in her path. A bike courier swerved around a space Marcus hadn't occupied yet. It was like the world had latency, like everyone was operating on a live feed that was a few seconds ahead of his reality. Marcus stopped walking at the corner of 5th and Harmon, forcing himself to pause, to observe. His data analyst brain kicked in, trying to find the pattern. He was about to cross the street. The walk signal was green. He started to step off the curb. A woman's hand touched his elbow. "Light's about to change," she said. The light was still green, solidly green. Then it flickered. Then it turned yellow. Then red. She'd warned him 3 seconds before the light changed. "Thanks," Marcus managed. She nodded and walked away. And Marcus noticed she'd already moved on before he'd finished speaking, before the word "thanks" had fully left his mouth. His hands were shaking now. He gripped his coffee cup tighter, feeling the warmth through the insulated sleeve. Something real, something present, tense. The light turned green again. Marcus crossed the street with a group of other pedestrians. No one spoke to him. No one reacted to him. Maybe because he wasn't doing anything unexpected. Just walking straight, following the crowd. The Vertex Analytics building rose ahead, all glass and steel and reflected morning sky. Marcus had worked there for 4 years. 3rd floor, northwest corner desk. He knew every elevator, every stairwell, every bathroom on every floor. He pushed through the revolving door into the lobby. Jennifer from HR was at the security desk, chatting with Tyrone, the morning guard. They both looked up as Marcus entered. Their expressions changed, not drastically, but Marcus noticed. He'd built a career on noticing patterns in data, and this was a pattern. Their faces shifted from casual friendliness to something more careful, more gentle. "Morning, Marcus," Jennifer said. Her voice was soft, too soft. "Morning," Marcus replied. "How are you holding up?" she asked. Marcus stopped. "Holding up?" Jennifer exchanged a glance with Tyrone. "Just, Monday morning, long weekend." It hadn't been a long weekend. This was a normal Monday. "I'm fine," Marcus said slowly. "Of course," Jennifer said. "Of course you are." She said it the way you'd reassure someone who wasn't fine, someone who needed reassurance. Marcus moved toward the elevators. Behind him, he heard Jennifer say something quietly to Tyrone. He couldn't make out the words, but the tone was unmistakable. Concern. The elevator arrived. Marcus stepped in and pressed 3. His reflection in the polished doors looked normal. Same blue button-down shirt, same slightly crooked tie, same face he'd shaved in the mirror an hour ago. The elevator rose. Marcus watched the numbers tick up. 1, 2. The doors opened on 3. His manager, David, was standing right there, waiting. "Marcus," David said. "Good. Come to my office. I just need to drop my bag. Now, please." David's tone wasn't angry. It was careful, the same careful tone Jennifer had used. Marcus followed David down the hallway, past the kitchen, past the conference rooms, past Marcus's own desk. His co-worker Rachel glanced up as they passed. Her expression mirrored the others. Worry, carefully controlled. What the hell was happening? David's office overlooked the street. Morning light poured through the windows. David closed the door and gestured for Marcus to sit. "I want you to know," David began, "that we're here to support you through this." "Through what?" David's eyebrows rose slightly. "Marcus, we received your resignation email this morning." The words didn't make sense. Marcus stared at him. "I didn't send a resignation email. It came from your work account about an hour ago." "That's impossible. I was on the train an hour ago." David opened his laptop, turned it to face Marcus. There on the screen was an email from Marcus's address, timestamped 7:47 a.m. Subject: resignation, effective immediately. The body of the email was brief. "I can no longer continue in this position. Thank you for the opportunities. I won't be returning to the office." Marcus read it twice, 3 times. "I didn't write this." "Marcus." David's voice was even gentler now. "We understand you've been under stress. The Henderson project, the long hours. If this is about needing time off, we can arrange that. You don't need to quit." "I'm not quitting. I didn't send this." "Your email account. I didn't send it." Marcus heard his voice rise, forced himself to calm down. "David, I'm telling you, I did not write or send this email. Someone else must have accessed my account." David studied him for a long moment. "All right. We'll look into it. In the meantime, why don't you take the day? Go home, rest. We'll sort this out." "I don't need to go home. I need to work. I have the quarterly analysis due Wednesday." "Rachel can handle that." "Rachel doesn't know the data sets like I do." "Marcus." David stood up. "I'm not asking. Take the day. We'll talk tomorrow." There was something in David's posture, something final, not quite forceful, but immovable. Marcus stood. His legs felt disconnected from his body. "Fine." He walked out of David's office. The hallway seemed longer than it had 5 minutes ago. Faces turned toward him as he passed, co-workers he'd worked alongside for years, and every face wore the same expression: pity. They were looking at him like he was already gone. Marcus reached his desk. His computer was still logged in from Friday afternoon. He sat down, moved the mouse. The screen woke up, showing his email inbox. At the top, marked as sent at 7:47 a.m., was the resignation email. Below it, sent at 8:02 a.m., an email to Emma. I'm sorry, I can't explain this. I love you. Marcus's hands hovered over the keyboard. He hadn't written that either. He hadn't even thought it, though now that he read the words, they felt true in a way that made his stomach drop. Below that, sent at 8:15 a.m., an email to his mother. Thank you for everything. The timestamp read 8:15 a.m. Marcus checked his watch. It was 8:09 a.m. The email had been sent 6 minutes in the future. Act 3. Minutes ahead. Marcus stood up from his desk so quickly, his chair rolled backward and hit the cubicle wall. Rachel looked over from her desk next door. Marcus, are you okay? He stared at her. She was asking if he was okay, present tense, but her expression suggested she already knew the answer. What time is it? He asked. Rachel glanced at her computer screen. 8:10. Are you sure? Yes. Marcus looked at his watch again. 8:09. He looked at his computer screen. 8:15. He looked at the clock on the wall across the office. 8:10. Nothing matched, or everything matched except his perspective. Did you see me send an email just now? Marcus asked. In the last few minutes. Rachel's expression shifted, more of that careful concern. Marcus, David said you were going home. Did you see me send an email? I wasn't watching your screen. But her hesitation suggested otherwise. Her eyes had flicked to his monitor just for a second, and in that second Marcus saw the truth. She had seen something that worried her. Marcus grabbed his bag and walked toward the elevator. He needed to get out of this building, needed to think, needed to be somewhere the clocks made sense. The elevator doors opened as he approached. He hadn't pressed the button. Inside was the man in the grey suit from the train, the one who'd stared at Marcus at Riverside Station. Recognition flashed across the man's face. You, he said. Do I know you? You got on at Oakwood. I saw you on the platform at Central Station. You looked... The man paused. You looked lost. I wasn't at Central Station platform. I walked straight through to the street. The man's frown deepened. No, I saw you. You were standing by the tracks. I almost said something, but then you walked away. The elevator doors started to close. Marcus put his hand out to stop them, and the man flinched backward. Sorry, the man said, even though Marcus hadn't touched him. I didn't mean to. The doors closed. Marcus stood in the hallway. His hand was still extended, frozen in the air where the elevator doors had been. The man had flinched before Marcus moved toward him, had apologized before there was anything to apologize for. Everyone was living slightly ahead of Marcus, experiencing him before he experienced himself. The thought made his skull feel too tight. Marcus took the stairs instead. 3 flights down, each step echoing in the concrete stairwell. At the ground floor, he pushed through the door into the lobby. Tyrone was still at the security desk. He looked up and his face went pale. Jesus, Marcus, are you sure you should be here? What do you mean? After what happened? Tyrone stopped himself. Never mind, none of my business. After what happened? Tyrone looked uncomfortable. Man, I don't want to get involved. You should talk to David. I did talk to David. He sent me home. Then you should go home. Tyrone, please. What did you hear? Tyrone glanced around the lobby. No one else was nearby. He lowered his voice. Jennifer said there was an incident. Something about you at the station this morning. Someone called the office, reported a concern. What kind of concern? I don't know the details, man. Just that security was notified, and they wanted to make sure you had support. Marcus felt the floor tilt slightly beneath him. Support for what? Tyrone wouldn't meet his eyes. You should go home, Marcus. Outside, the morning had turned overcast. Grey clouds pressed down on the city. Marcus walked without direction, his feet carrying him through streets he'd walked 1,000 times. His phone buzzed. A text from Emma. Got your email. On my way. Where are you? He hadn't sent her an email, except he had, or he would. Time was slipping, and he couldn't hold on to which came first anymore. He typed back, I'm okay, don't come. The response was immediate. I'm already in a cab. Stay where you are. Marcus looked around. He was standing outside a coffee shop on 7th Avenue. He'd walked 8 blocks without noticing. His reusable cup was still in his hand, the coffee inside long since cold. Through the coffee shop window, he saw a woman at a table, laptop open. She glanced up and saw him standing there. Her expression shifted. That same look everyone had been giving him all morning. She mouthed something through the glass. Are you all right? Marcus turned away and kept walking. His phone rang. Emma, he answered. Where are you? She asked. Her voice was tight with worry. 7th Avenue. Marcus, what's happening? Your email scared me. What did it say? What do you mean, what did it say? You wrote it. Emma, please, just tell me what it said. A pause. Then, you said you couldn't explain, but you loved me. Marcus, what's going on? Are you in trouble? I don't know. I'm 5 minutes away. Stay there. The call ended. Marcus stood on the sidewalk, watching people flow around him like water around a stone. Every face that glanced his way registered something. Recognition, concern, pity. What had happened at Central Station? What had Tyrone meant about an incident? Marcus pulled up his email on his phone. The message to Emma was there, sent at 8:02. The message to his mother, sent at 8:15. Below that, a new message, sent at 8:34. An email to his college roommate, James. Subject line, sorry, I couldn't make it work. Marcus checked the time. 8:31. The email was sent 3 minutes in the future. He opened it. The body was a single line. I tried. I really tried. Marcus hadn't written it, but reading it felt like remembering something he'd forgotten. A truth that had always been there, waiting. A cab pulled up to the curb. Emma climbed out, her face stricken. She moved toward Marcus, and he saw her see him, really see him, and her expression crumbled. Oh, Marcus, she said, and she said it the way you'd speak to someone already gone. She reached for him, and Marcus stepped back. Don't, he said. Something's wrong with me. I know. It's okay. No, you don't understand. Everyone's ahead of me. Everything's happening before I do it. Emma's eyes were wet. Marcus, we'll get help. We'll figure this out. I didn't send those emails. Okay. I'm not crazy. I know. But she said it the way you'd agree with someone who was. Marcus's phone buzzed again. Another email, sent at 8:47, to his father, who he hadn't spoken to in 3 years. I understand now, it said. I understand why. The timestamp said 8:47. Marcus checked the time. 8:38. 9 minutes ahead now. The gap was widening. Act 4. The pattern. Emma was talking, her hand on his arm, but Marcus couldn't hear the words anymore. Everything sounded like it was underwater. She was trying to guide him somewhere, a bench maybe, or back to the cab. But Marcus pulled away. I need to go back, he said. Back where? The station, Central Station. Marcus, you need to see someone, a doctor. We need to. It started on the train, Marcus said. His voice felt clearer now, more certain. Everyone's ahead of me, by seconds at first, now minutes. It's getting wider. Emma's face was pale. Marcus, you're not making sense. I am. Time is wrong. I'm behind it. Everyone's experiencing me before I experience myself. Please, let's just sit down. That man on the elevator saw me at Central Station, on the platform, by the tracks, but I never went there, because I haven't been there yet. Future tense. Marcus was already walking back towards Central Station. Emma followed, her heels clicking on the sidewalk. Marcus stopped. He stopped, turned. Emma's makeup was smudged under her eyes. I love you, Marcus said. I want you to know that. Don't talk like that. Don't talk like you're... She couldn't finish the sentence. I'm not. But even as he said it, Marcus wasn't sure. His phone rang. Unknown number. He answered. Marcus Chen. A woman's voice, professional, clipped. Yes. This is Detective Sarah Moreno with Transit Police. Your employer contacted us. There's been a concern raised. Are you planning to harm yourself? The question hung in the air like smoke. No, Marcus said, but the word felt uncertain. Can you tell me where you are? 7th Avenue. Stay there. I'm sending officers to your location. Marcus ended the call. Marcus, please, Emma said. Don't go back there. I have to. He started walking. Emma grabbed his arm. This is goodbye, isn't it? She said quietly. Marcus pulled free, gently. I have to go. Emma didn't follow. She stood on the sidewalk as he walked away. He didn't look back. Central Station rose ahead. Marcus pushed through the revolving doors. The morning rush had thinned. Scattered commuters moved through the space, living their normal Monday mornings. Marcus walked toward the platforms. Track 7 was down the main corridor, second platform on the left. His feet knew where to go. They'd known all morning. Track 7's platform was nearly empty. A few people waited for the next train, scattered along the yellow safety line. Marcus walked to the edge, looked down at the tracks. They seemed very far away and very close. His phone buzzed. An email notification sent at 8:45, received at 8:45. Finally, he'd caught up. 2. Emma. Subject. I'm sorry, I couldn't stop it. I tried, but I've already done this. By the time you read this, it's already over. I love you. I'm sorry, I couldn't explain. Marcus read it twice. He didn't remember writing it, but his thumb was moving, and the email app was open, and somewhere in time that had already happened. He was pressing send. The train was coming. He could hear it in the tunnel, feel the vibration through the concrete. Marcus looked down at the tracks again and remembered. This morning, the real morning, before the 7:42, before he left his apartment, before he brushed his teeth and kissed Emma goodbye, before all of that, there was a moment, a decision. He'd been thinking about it for weeks, how tired he was, how hollow, how every day felt like moving through water. This morning, standing in his bathroom, he thought, what if I just didn't? And the thought had felt like relief. Behind him, someone shouted. People were turning, noticing, moving toward him. The train burst from the tunnel, all noise and metal and momentum. Marcus stepped back, not because someone pulled him. He stepped back on his own, away from the edge, away from the drop. I'm okay, he said. I'm okay. But even as he said it, he knew it wasn't true, because he could see it now, the shape of the morning. He'd been walking backwards through it, living it in reverse, starting from this moment, this decision, and experiencing the lead-up in retrograde. Everyone had been ahead of him because they were moving forward through time normally. He was moving backward through the same hours, approaching this moment from the wrong direction. Transit officers reached him. One took his arm, firm but gentle. "Sir, come with us." Marcus nodded, let himself be led away from the platform. As they walked back toward the terminal, Marcus glanced at his watch. 7:41. Act 5. The morning platform. Marcus blinked. He wasn't at Central Station anymore. He was standing at Oakwood Station, near the entrance to Track 3. The departure board showed 7:40 a.m. The 7:42 to Central Station would be arriving in 2 minutes. Marcus looked down at his phone. No emails sent. No messages to Emma or his mother or anyone else. His inbox was empty of everything that had happened, or everything that would happen. He was back at the beginning. His coffee cup felt warm in his hand, fresh. The morning smelled like rain that hadn't fallen yet. Around him, commuters moved toward their platforms, living their normal, forward-moving lives. Marcus's hands were steady. No tremor, no flutter in his chest. He knew what came next. The train would arrive. He'd take his usual seat. At Central Station, he'd walk to his office. David would call him in. The resignation email would be there, time-stamped in his future. And at 8:45, he'd be standing at the edge of Track 7, feeling the train approach. He'd lived it once already, backwards. Now he was at the start, with the choice still ahead of him. The 7:42 pulled into the station. Doors opened. His usual spot, his usual carriage. Marcus didn't move. The doors stayed open, waiting. Other passengers flowed past him, boarding. The woman with headphones got on. Marcus stayed on the platform. A tone sounded. Doors closing. Marcus stepped back. The train pulled away without him. He watched it disappear into the tunnel, carrying all those other commuters toward Central Station, toward their offices, toward their normal Monday mornings, toward the future he'd already seen. The platform emptied. Marcus stood alone in the fluorescent light. His phone buzzed. A text from Emma. "Have a good day. Love you." Marcus typed back. "Change of plans. Coming home. Can we talk?" 3 dots appeared immediately. "Of course. Everything okay?" Marcus looked at the message for a long moment before responding. "I think so. I will be." The next train would take him back to Oakwood, back to his apartment, back to Emma and the conversation he didn't know how to start, but knew he needed to have. Marcus walked toward Track 8, the reverse commute platform. As he walked, he passed Track 7. The platform was empty now, quiet. Just another track at another station. He looked at the spot where he'd stood, where he would have stood, at 8:45. The yellow safety line looked stark against the grey concrete. Marcus kept walking. The 7:55 to Oakwood was boarding. He got on, found a seat by the window. The train pulled away from Central Station, moving backward through the route he'd planned to take forward. At Oakwood Station, Marcus stepped onto the platform. Morning sunlight broke through the clouds, warming the concrete. His apartment was 6 blocks away. He walked slowly, feeling each step, each breath. Present, tense, real. Emma was surprised when he opened the door. "Marcus, what happened?" He set down his bag, his coffee cup, his phone. "I forgot something," he said. "What?" "That I had a choice." Emma's expression shifted. Confusion, then concern, then something softer. "Do you want to talk about it?" "Yes," Marcus said. "I do." They sat together in the kitchen. Morning light came through the window, solid and real and moving forward at exactly the right speed. Marcus told her about the morning, the parts he could explain anyway, the feeling of being out of sync, the emails he didn't remember writing, the platform at Track 7. Emma listened. She didn't interrupt. She held his hand. "I think I need help," Marcus said finally. "Okay," Emma said. "We'll find it. I'm going to call in sick today." "Good." Marcus felt the weight of the morning settle over him. He'd seen where it could lead. He'd stepped back, and now he was here, in his kitchen, holding Emma's hand, choosing this moment instead of that one. His phone sat on the counter, screen dark, no emails from the future, no messages he didn't write, just a phone doing what phones do. Outside, the city moved forward. Trains arrived and departed. People commuted to jobs and lives and Mondays that unfolded second by second in order, the way time was supposed to work. Marcus closed his eyes and felt Emma's pulse against his palm, steady, present, real. When he opened them again, the kitchen clock read 8:24. In 21 minutes, he would have been standing at track 7. Instead, he was here. But tomorrow was Tuesday, and Tuesday had a 7:42 train. Marcus pushed the thought away. Not now, not today. Today, he was here. And for now, that was enough.